Indonesia's First Lady Iriana Widodo has been relatively reserved for the last 9 years of her husband's presidency. But with the 2024 election just around the corner, her name has set social media abuzz. Why?
So the controversy with Iriana Widodo started a few weeks ago with some news reports that came out that suggested that she had actually masterminded this scheme to get her son, who's also obviously the president's son, Gibran, to become the vice presidential running mate of Prabowo Subianto, who is currently the leading presidential candidate. So, which, if true, would be quite a big abuse of power on their part.
The allegations against Iriana went viral after YouTube political show Bojur Alus Politik ran a report on November 18th titled Ambitions and Maneuvers by the Queen Mother.
Internal ya?
Internal, ring 1 ya. Ring 1 itu ada keluarga adik-adiknya Pak Jokowi dan ada keluarga Iriana.
Oke.
Bahwa langkah-langkah politik Gibran dan Kaesang atau anak-anaknya Pak Jokowi ini banyak dipengaruhi oleh ibunya.
Oh.
Bu Iriana.
Ibu Iriana
Betul.
ya maksudnya.
Jauh sebelum Gibran diumumkan menjadi cawapres.
Tahun ini berarti ya?
Tahun ini, betul. Bu Iriana itu bicara dengan keluarga-keluarga dekatnya. Dan keluarga ring 1 tadi. Bahwa nanti milih ini ya gitu. Milih ini itu maksudnya saat itu dibilang nanti milih Pak Prabowo ya dan Mas Gibran.
Tempo, which produces the program, ran a cover story the next day, claiming that Iriana was the driving force behind her son's vice presidential candidacy. She allegedly lured her husband into ordering one of the nation's top judges, who is also a brother-in-law to the president, to grant her 36-year-old son an exception to the 40-year-old minimum age requirement for candidates.
So the Constitutional Court ruled that the age limit would still be 40, but they would make an exception for candidates who had already been elected to office. And her son, Gibran, is currently the mayor of Solo. So he is an elected official, which means that he qualifies even though he's only 36 years old.
That paved the way for Gibran to lead the race as a vice presidential candidate. He and his presidential running mate, Prabowo Subianto, have led the latest polls by around 10 points over their rivals. But human rights lawyer and former lawmaker Norcia Bani Kajusankana said the critical report in Tempo minimized the role Widodo may have played in Gibran's candidacy because the story cast Iriana as the villain.
Mungkin Iriana berperan di dalam hal itu ya. Iriana punya kuasa real, tapi yang punya kuasa formal itu kan Jokowi gitu loh. Saya melihatnya ini sebagai stigma atau gender stigmatization dan juga dalam konteks politik yang sangat misoginis yang senantiasa menempatkan perempuan sebagai pihak yang bersalah pada situasi yang buruk.
In its reporting, Tempo claimed its unnamed sources were members of the president's extended family who were not in favor of the way that Gibran was elevated.
Saya selalu mengatakan bahwa Tempo dengan reputasinya tidak harus membuat berita atau cerita berdasarkan gosip keluarga.
Indonesian first ladies have borne the brunt of their husbands' failings in the past. During the rule of Indonesia's first president Sukarno in the 1960s, his Japanese-born fifth wife, Naoko Nemoto, better known as Dewi Sukarno, was often targeted by protesters who derogatorily referred to her as Gundik Jepang, or the Japanese concubine. Indonesia's next First Lady, Tien Soeharto, was often blamed for being rapacious, following Suharto's political downfall in 1998 after 32 years of corrupt rule. Widodo's immediate predecessor, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, was often derided over the perceived influence that his wife, Kristiani Erawati, known as Ani, had on him.
definitely mendapatkan atau menjadi kambing hitam, terutama karena dia seorang warga Jepang ya, seorang asing dan lain sebagainya. Dan Ibu Tin Soeharto juga digambarkan sebagai ibu negara yang sangat greedy gitu. Misalnya Ibu SBY gitu, yang juga ada gosip-gosip dia ikut menentukan pos-pos yang penting atau yang menurut dia bisa digunakan sebagai resource kekuasaan.
The Indonesian constitution does not outline the duties of a first lady, but traditionally they perform ceremonies, accompany the president at public engagements, and oversee their philanthropic projects. Prabowo, frontrunner in the 2024 election, divorced his former wife in 1998 and has not remarried. His biggest rival, Central Java Governor Ganjar Pranowo, is married to Siti Atiko Supriyanti, a former civil servant.
So based on the recent polling, it looks like Prabowo Subianto and Gibran are in the lead by about 10 points. I mean, Indonesian polls are not always the most accurate, but right now it's Prabowo and Gibran's election to lose.